Enter the world of Cathay. The latest trailer for Total War Warhammer 3 has released, but before we talk about it, let's watch it.
Nothing endures without harmony. And harmony only endures through us. We are unmoving like the mountain. We will not be drowned by the raging river. Behold the wonders of the Celestial Dragon Empire. The might of our warriors. The secrets of our alchemists. The sorcery of the dragon-blooded. Vanquish chaos with the sheer power of the dragon. Let them face the majesty of Grand Cathay.
Well, that was badass. The Creative Assembly's cinematics team does not get enough appreciation for the heavy lifting they do for all of these games. This was made entirely in-engine, using mostly animations and spells that will appear in the game as is. It's no wonder that over the summer they opened an on-site motion capture facility just to make more trailers like this in the future easier. But that's not what you're here for. Let's talk about the new units and the new shiny things that have been revealed in this trailer. Right off the bat, we get another look at the Great Bastion and the siege defense of it. Now, of course, we don't actually get to see any siege gameplay. That would be offering us too much, and our tiny fanboy minds might explode at the mere sight of such marvels of technical prowess. But we do get to see the Jade Longma Riders, a type of aerial flying cavalry unique to Cathay, who also seem to be using an improved Pegasus animation from Warhammer 1. These swoop down to reveal a Dragon rocket battery and an entire Tzeentchian army, with the forces of Cathay being led by this guy. We already know that Cathay will have a very limited roster of cavalry when it comes to the base game, so it's nice to see that they have a Lord choice that does get a mount option. Or possibly he's a hero of some kind, but regardless, he's definitely a single entity and melee oriented. He's accompanied by a medium-tier unit that looks to be Jade Warriors wielding a polearm. We know they'll also come in a crossbow variety as well as sword and shield. You can tell because they have the same green crests right here. So it looks like that unit model will do some repeated heavy lifting, which is something the army of Tzeentch knows all about. Here we get our first look at the Pink Horrors, who are shooting some sort of substance that looks like irradiated Pepto-Bismol. They're accompanied by Forsaken and Chaos Spawn from Warhammer 1 with a new turquoise coat of paint slapped on them. But thanks to a recently installed Nightbright, they do have glowing eyes and hands now, which actually does look kind of creepy and cool. And in the background there, you can actually see the riders of the discs of Tzeentch hovering overhead on their flying nimbuses, which gives us our first look at Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon, a flying, fire-breathing snack boy who totally didn't steal his look from Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones. And yes, the Creative Assembly did give Pink Horrors tiny demonic buttholes, because what could be more terrifying? From there, it's a mix of units we've seen before and a first time that are appearing. Celestial Dragon Guard are a late-game infantry unit that wield a polearm and shield and make every Bretonnia player cry, while Cathay also gets its own version of the Skaven Jezzail sniper teams. But, I mean, that one's kind of fair, as China did invent gunpowder. We also get our first glimpse at Cathay's Peasant Levy unit. These were mentioned in the lore blog as a base-tier infantry that fill a number of roles, but we can see them here with their fun Mongolian-inspired hats. Also, there's this thing. Nobody knows what the hell this thing is, but many are calling it a Wujing War Compass Chariot, which is like a giant magic chariot thingamadoo. The new Alchemist hero, or general, we're not entirely sure which, is an absolutely badass metal bender with animations that are either an homage to the show or stolen from it, depending on how you feel about Quentin Tarantino films. And what they're calling sorcery here could either be an entirely new Cathayan lore of magic or the fabled Astromancer. You can see earlier on in the trailer where one summons bolts in the air and seems to shoot them at the pink horrors while also deflecting their bolts out of mid-air. It could be a working counterspell or reflect, or just something fancied for the trailer. And that problem permeates the entirety of Enter the World of Cathay. It's very pretty, but it doesn't answer any of the questions we've been asking. But it does retell us again that Cathay is a world of harmony, the Iron Dragon isn't afraid to get down and dirty with his people, and Miao Ying is cold and aloof. There's blogs on new lore and a bit about unit rosters, but no actual details on how a character will play, or if they have unique mechanics like a Total War Saga Troy, or even what their overarching faction mechanic will be. There's certainly hints about it, with Miao Ying's likely revolving around the defense of the Grand Bastion, and Zhao Ming doing something with trade along the Ivory Road and possibly recruiting foreign mercenaries. But again, this is all speculation. The Creative Assembly is being very careful not to actually reveal anything one way or the other. Currently, you can hype yourself up as much as you want and get as excited about the game as you need to be. All they have to do is just not tell you you're wrong. Trailers like this seem to show that the Creative Assembly believes that hype and pretty visuals are more important to game sales than showing off gameplay mechanics or any changes to how a game actually plays. And you know what? They're probably right. But it is curious that the only time the press and players have been able to get their hands on the game was in a separated, scripted battle sequence way back in May. Trailers like this are flashy and certainly fun to watch, but they're in no way indicative of the actual gameplay experience, so I look forward to seeing some of that, hopefully very soon. But in the meantime, please subscribe to be notified of our more information, and as always, thanks for watching.